Picture a legendary MMA fighter accusing his own mother of being an impostor. It sounds like a sensational headline, except it's not a tabloid rumor or a movie plot. For BJ Penn, one of the UFC's most celebrated icons, this is his disturbing new reality. In a series of recent videos, he insists that the elderly woman cooking in his kitchen is only pretending to be his real mom, and that a hidden network is conspiring to steal his family's fortune. For longtime fans who remember him as the Prodigy, this turn of events is not just shocking, it's downright terrifying. Many in the MMA world are left asking how a revered champion ended up here, teetering on the edge of paranoia and confusion. Rumors point to possible mental health struggles, alleged substance use, and even the cumulative effect of countless blows to the head. Yet nobody can say for sure what's fueling BJ Penn's bizarre accusations. What we do know is that a once-inspirational athlete is now generating headlines for all the wrong reasons. The question is no longer about how good he was in the Octagon, but about what he might do next if he truly believes his own family is out to get him. Before diving into his unsettling claims, it's important to recall why BJ Penn was once considered a legend. Born and raised in Hawaii, he burst onto the UFC scene with an uncanny mix of high-level Brazilian jiu-jitsu and fearless stand-up. At a time when specialization often defined a fighter's success, Penn showcased remarkable versatility, proving he could submit grappling experts and outstrike seasoned strikers. His aggressive style and willingness to fight across different weight classes earned him the moniker the Prodigy. Over the years, Penn's legacy solidified. He became one of the few fighters in UFC history to hold titles in multiple divisions, adding his name to an exclusive list of multi-weight champions. Fans adored him for his free-spirited approach. He'd drop everything to take on massive challenges, embodying an old-school mindset that relished risk. Whether you loved him or hated him, you couldn't deny that BJ Penn was a magnetic force inside the cage. Yet, even in his prime, rumors swirled about his personal life. Casual observers saw only the thrilling finishes and post-fight celebrations. Those closer to the scene, however, whispered about heavy partying and internal struggles. To this day, few can pinpoint exactly when things started to spiral, but by the time he retired, many sensed that the fighter known for his heart was battling an entirely different war outside of competition. Recently, Penn dropped a bombshell that took even his staunchest supporters by surprise. In multiple social media videos, he displayed a woman standing in his family's kitchen, cooking and going about her day, while insisting she was not who she claimed to be. According to Penn, this individual was mimicking his real mother, someone who has been publicly recognized for years under the name Lorraine, but with sinister intentions. He suggested that if one looked up certain details online, they would uncover a plot involving government officials and local families trying to seize his family's assets. To outside viewers, this scenario was surreal. By all public accounts, the woman in the video matches Lorraine's appearance, voice, and mannerisms. There are even interviews from the recent past where she openly supports Penn's political aspirations, clearly identifying herself as his mother. The notion of her being an impostor defies logic, yet Penn seems utterly convinced. His belief is so strong that he warns of dire consequences if she continues to impersonate his real mom. He has implied he might become aggressive if he feels threatened, suggesting she might retaliate with legal actions, such as a temporary restraining order. For those witnessing his calm yet alarmingly paranoid tone, one question overshadows everything else. Is BJ Penn truly unable to recognize his own mother, or is something deeper at play? Either way, it's an unsettling look into a mind that may be battling significant psychological distress. As soon as the videos went viral, the internet began buzzing with theories. Some pointed to possible CTE, a debilitating condition tied to repeated head trauma, a tragic risk in contact sports like MMA. Others speculated about psychosis or a severe manic episode, potentially aggravated by rumored substance use. A particularly notable theory compared Penn's behavior to something called Capgras syndrome, a rare disorder where an individual believes close friends or family members have been replaced by imposters. While diagnosing anyone from a distance is reckless, the parallels are difficult to ignore. The hallmark of Capgras is precisely this eerie conviction that familiar people are actually duplicates. Many fans have quietly asked if his repeated concussions, rumored drug issues, and tumultuous lifestyle have contributed to a mental collapse. Penn, for his part, has previously dismissed the notion that MMA fighters might suffer lasting brain damage, even calling CTE fake. But for those who watch these videos, his denial only raises more questions. Why is he so certain that the biggest threat to his life is a look-alike mother conspiring with government officials? Why does he specifically name local families and a state senator in these alleged plots? These claims hint at deep-seated paranoia, which can be symptomatic of a broader mental breakdown. Penn's recent accusations, while baffling, aren't entirely out of nowhere. Ever since he retired, his public image has been marred by one controversy after another. Years ago, he was arrested after a drunken brawl outside a bar in Hawaii, resulting in assault charges. Not too long after, he found himself in another fight with a bouncer at a strip club, an incident caught on camera that quickly went viral. On another occasion, he reportedly flipped his vehicle near a shopping center, prompting suspicions of driving under the influence. Perhaps even more concerning are the accusations surfaced by individuals close to him. A former coworker alleged Penn had a long-standing substance problem, claiming he was frequently under the influence of cocaine. An ex-girlfriend then secured a restraining order against him, describing over a decade of volatile behavior and heavy drug use that dated back to his early teens. Even professional fighters who trained with Penn have hinted that it was apparent he struggled with addiction just from looking at him. These accounts, while unconfirmed in a court of law, paint a consistent portrait of someone wrestling with demons that go far beyond a typical celebrity meltdown. In response, Penn has often fired back at critics or brushed off their claims without offering a full explanation. Whenever confronted by media outlets about his erratic conduct, he either stayed silent or shifted blame. As the controversies piled up, fans waited for him to reach a turning point, a moment of self-awareness that would spark real change. Instead, the incidents only escalated, suggesting a deeper unraveling. Penn's downfall has reignited conversations about the long-term impact of combat sports. For decades, MMA fighters from earlier eras prided themselves on brutal sparring sessions, few rest days, and an almost reckless approach to training. They often said, "You either pay now or pay later." Unfortunately, paying later can manifest as chronic pain, addiction, depression, anxiety, or worse. Many older fighters have come forward in recent years admitting to struggles with memory loss, impulsive behavior, mood swings, and neurological issues. While the UFC has started to offer more resources than it did in its early days, there remains a gap for fighters who come from the Wild West generation. BJ Penn stands out because he was seen as one of the truly elite, someone who embodied both technical brilliance and warrior spirit. If his alleged mental disintegration is partly due to head trauma, it underscores the harsh reality that no amount of skill can protect a fighter from the cumulative impact of strikes. Adding potential substance issues into the mix only compounds the problem. Some experts have suggested that repeated drug use could exacerbate existing cognitive or emotional problems, making it nearly impossible to regain a stable mental state without comprehensive medical care. If Penn's denials of conditions like CTE reveal an unwillingness to accept, he might be suffering long-term damage. That reluctance could delay any chance of early treatment, and in cases involving severe mental decline, time is critical. Right now, the most pressing issue is the immediate safety of everyone involved, particularly Penn's mother. If he genuinely believes she's an impostor aiming to steal his family's fortune, what might happen if paranoia consumes him? The videos already hint that he's had confrontations with her, as he references the possibility of a temporary restraining order. This suggests tension in the household is reaching dangerous levels, and it raises alarming questions about how far he might go if he feels cornered. Meanwhile, fans and concerned observers are left in the dark. There's no clear plan for intervention, no public statement from his management, or close friends indicating they've stepped in to help. Penn's mother, despite being the apparent target of his accusations, has remained largely silent beyond what's visible in those unsettling video clips. Some speculate she might not want to escalate the situation, hoping to de-escalate any conflict quietly. Others worry she's in denial, holding on to hope that this phase will pass. Social media has become an echo chamber of concern, with some urging the UFC or prominent figures in the MMA community to intervene. While these calls come from a place of compassion, the sad truth is that no one can force an adult to undergo treatment unless there's a clear legal basis. And if Penn sees the entire world as part of a conspiracy, any external attempts to help might be seen as proof of the very plot he's ranting about. For years, BJ Penn was celebrated as a fearless champion who transcended weight classes and delivered memorable fights that cemented his status as an MMA legend. Now, headlines about him revolve around restraining orders, legal issues, and startling videos involving an impostor mother. It's a tragic downfall by any standard, and it serves as a stark warning about the hidden costs that prolonged combat that and possible substance use can inflict on even the strongest minds. Whether his current state is due to CTE, a psychotic break, or a mix of undisclosed factors, the danger is undeniable. The greatest tragedy would be if these alarming signs were ignored until something truly irreversible happens. At this point, many are left hoping that the right people step forward, or that Penn himself recognizes the severity of his situation before it escalates further. Is there a chance for redemption? In the world of MMA, comebacks are legendary, but they usually happen inside the cage. This time, BJ Penn's most important battle is taking place outside of it, against enemies that may or may not be as real as he believes. No championship belt is on the line, only a man's sanity, his relationships, and perhaps his life. If he still has any of that fabled fighting spirit left, now is the time to channel it into seeking genuine help. Ultimately, this turn of events compels fans, fellow fighters, and onlookers alike to ask, how many more celebrated athletes must go down this path before the industry prioritizes comprehensive support for long-term mental health? BJ Penn's situation is heartbreaking, yes, but it's also a cautionary tale. The hope is that shining a light on his struggles might push for better awareness and intervention. Until that happens, one of MMA's former kings remains locked in a battle he may not be equipped to win alone. And for the people who care about him, that's the most sobering reality of all.